If you suffer from Candida, odds are you've already attempted one of the various drug or natural approaches to eliminating it. And the fact remains there are many causes of Candida albicans that really fly under the radar. These are lesser known causes. And what I mean by that is there are things every day that you purposefully or not, expose yourself to that could be causing your Candida. And if you were to simply stop exposing yourself to these toxins or these, environmental factors, you would no longer suffer from the problem. Now, before we get into these four major causes, I just want to quickly go over why Candida albicans can grow out of control in the body. Naturally, there's a balance in your body between Candida albicans and healthy bacteria. And Candida albicans are a natural fungus that live in everyone's digestive system. But what happens is, when there are changes in your diet or your immune system, sometimes this balance can be offset. Now, healthy bacteria normally regulates Candida albicans. It kills Candida in your body. What can happen is if you have a diet that's high in complex carbohydrates or sugar, well, those factors feed the Candida and can cause it to multiply at rapid rates inside the body. So that can be one factor that causes Candida overgrowth. Another factor can be a decrease in healthy bacteria. If you're on antibiotics, well, antibiotics kill the bad bacteria as well as the healthy bacteria. So the bacteria in your body would decrease, and Candida would no longer face, this bacteria that's constantly killing it, and it would have a chance to really grow at a rapid rate. So these are two factors that can cause Candida overgrowth. Now I want to talk to you about four major factors you may not know about that could be contributing to this problem. And I want to say before we get into this that your diet and your immune system should be the first things you should look at before you even bother with these four major factors. If you have a cold, if you're on antibiotics, if you have a diet high in sugar, those are the things you should look at first. These other factors are secondary. Nonetheless, you should know about them, so let's get into it. Now, the first one is mercury. And mercury, it's a heavy metal that's related to a whole host of health problems. And, it's actually been named, one of the top underdiagnosed health problems in America. And one reason you may have excessive amounts of mercury in your system could be from dental fillings. Especially if you've had dental fillings from back in the day, like the 80s or even the early 90s. If you have 4 or more fillings in your mouth, there's a lot of mercury going on. And without getting into deep details about it, mercury has been linked with health issues like heart disease, multiple sclerosis, autoimmune diseases, of course Candida, cancer, and many other things. Now, it also destroys brain cells. Mercury is it's not a good thing to have in your body, especially if you have, a high allergy to it. That can definitely cause a lot of problems as well. So one thing you can do about this is you can speak with your dentist and get the facts on, your fillings if you have them, and find out if you can have these fillings replaced with white fillings. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of skeptical replies about this major cause, but mercury has been linked to health issues, and if you have an allergy, it can definitely cause Candida in the body. So don't discount it until you speak with your dentist and find out, if this plays a factor in your Candida albicans. The next major cause is chlorine. Besides mercury, as one of the things you would never think of, chlorine kills beneficial bacteria in your body, and it allows Candida and other pathogens to develop. You drink chlorine in tap water. If you swim, you're swimming in it. And if you're, obviously you're taking showers every day. If there's chlorine in your water, every 20 minutes in the shower is equivalent to drinking about 3 liters of chlorinated water. That's how fast your body absorbs it. So for many people, removing chlorine from their environment and water, it can really do phenomenal things for their health, including, Candida. So, and you can do this through water filters and many other methods, but definitely look at chlorine as an underlying factor. Mycotoxins are another major cause. And you can avoid mycotoxins with common sense. First, let me tell you what they are. They're basically molds that you find in your food, such as like peanuts or packaged nuts or corn, breads, packaged grain, packaged food essentially. And these molds, they can suppress your immune system. Remember I talked about decreasing that healthy bacteria? Well, that's what they do. And they can pave the way for Candida, and they can cause it, and they can cause Candida overgrowth. So just use some common sense here. You don't have to be neurotic about it, but definitely take a look at your food before you eat it. You never want to be ingesting any kind of a mold. And that goes beyond Candida. I mean, now we're getting into like food poisoning and stuff like that. But just take a look at your food, and you can avoid mycotoxins. And artificial ingredients can also be a major cause of Candida. I talked about diet and how if you ingest excessive amounts of complex carbohydrates and sugars, they can cause the Candida to multiply. Additionally, dietary toxins, they're common with so many chemicals in our food. Basic things like MSG, aspartame, sucralose, artificial colors, preservatives, things like that. And then you have all the junk food like fried foods and refined sugars and preserved food. It's not good. I mean, they're all just adding negative substances into your body. I always recommend a healthy diet first and foremost if you suffer from Candida albicans, and that means increasing your intake of raw vegetables. You want to always have a lot of cleansing fiber in your diet to push out the excess sugars and just toxins that you got in there. And like I said, avoid the sugars. They feed the Candida albicans, and they allow this fungus to grow inside of your body. Also other toxins are like byproducts, like cookware, like stuff from cookware, and undiagnosed lingering illnesses can cause Candida. The plastic that you drink from your water bottles. There's been so much suspicion surrounding BPA and all these chemicals. So really keep a clean diet and eliminate all these unnecessary toxins from your environment. And like I said, I'm not trying to make you neurotic here. The source of toxicity, it's endless, and you can't always purify every single aspect of your life. But there are also positive things that you can do, like the intake of probiotics and many other natural treatments that I get into at my site, www.candida-away.com. This is really just the beginning. There's a complete action plan to totally eliminate Candida from your life for good. And the site details a step-by-step regimen for systematically killing Candida in your body so it doesn't come back at all. So you really need to check out the solution. This solution, it's a natural treatment plan, and it really is a step-by-step regimen. It's no secret, it's a plan of action. So check out the site right now, eliminate Candida for good, and take care. Bye-bye.